Welcome to Raven's Whispers Across the Nine Realms. This is a podcast where Norse myth meets modern minds. We explore the realms of mental health, gaming, and community, one story, one conversation, one whisper at a time. I'm Joker. I'm your host, and I'm joined with my co-host, Gamble.
What's going on, everybody? Thanks for joining us.
And today, our premiere episode, episode 1, we're interviewing Marc Peterson, the creator and founder of TROA, the Realms of Asgard, nonprofit organization. How you doing, Marc?
I'm doing good. How are you guys doing?
Hey, we're here.
Good, doing good.
Yeah, it's July 20th, 2025. Who knew that when we all started this journey that this is where we would be, and how quick this year's gone by?
Definitely gone by very quickly.
So, I mean, we kind of talked prior to the recording that everybody's hearing on whatever platform you're listening to us on. But we've got some questions, of course, and Marc is aware of these questions because we wanted to make sure he had all the information he could have. Being that the nonprofit, of course, is an advocate organization for mental health, let's start with that. Can you tell us your story of your mental health journey that led you to the point where, one, you wanted to create TROA, but also how you envisioned it when you came up with that idea?
Yeah, so I can start off pretty raw and pretty deep. So back in 2014, I'm a survivor of over, I believe, 14 years now. I don't know how long that is, but it's when I almost took my own life. I was, very depressed. That's not easy to say that truth. That year, I was surrounded by complete darkness and emotional and spiritual, carrying, deep traumas from betrayal of people, two failed marriages, and just I couldn't get any peace. And you always, you guys know this, you smile in public, but in private you're breaking, you're completely like losing everything. I felt like a utter and complete failure, and I believe that's when I was at my lowest. I truly believe that no one had cared, if I had disappeared. There there's this spiritual, aspect. I listen to a lot of music, and over time, carrying, you know the PTSD that I have, I suffer from it, uh and anxiety, depression, all that. Some days it screams, some days, you it's just, it's something you live with. And that is where TROA was born. It was born from the pain, not just a gaming community, but I wanted to create a safe space, for people like me, people who feel invisible, people who are barely holding on, people who need somewhere to breathe. Um, I quote a lot of different artists, and one of my favorite artists is Linkin Park. And if you don't know who Mike Shinoda is, he's a huge advocate on mental health. One day I hope it could happen. I don't know, but I can actually, we would be able to interview this guy. But there's a line in that I always stick with. That sometimes you say goodbye over and over again. And that line, it hits hard because that's what trauma is. It's not a single goodbye; it's 1,000 goodbyes, to the versions of yourself, to the memories, to the people who didn't make it out. I've said goodbye to so many people in my lifetime. And I was supposed to be, somehow, you know, I feel that I shouldn't be here in the place of the people that I have loved and cared about. Um, and I believe that's where my trauma stems. Music is my therapy. Um, and I and I say that with a lot of, you'll see me, like, if you're in the Discord, you'll see me listening to all kinds of stuff. Um, and it's not just me vibing, it's a signal that I'm processing something. I'm living in the lyrics. I listen to artists like NF. He says, what a lot of people are afraid to say. Lincoln Park has raised me through trauma. I prevail in skillet, keep the fighter in me alive. You know, Coldplay allows me to catch my breath. Starset, lets me escape this world, just for a little bit. And if you ever do catch me on stream, because I'm a Twitch affiliated streamer as well. If you ever catch me on a stream, you'll see, catch me playing Beat Saber. That's not just for fun for me. That's me slicing through the noise in my head. One beat, one breath, and one moment of control that I can control myself. Um, Therapy doesn't always look like a couch. Sometimes it's music, sometimes it's VR, sometimes it's showing up and being uh, when every part of you just says that you don't want to show up. I in 2004 lost a really good friend, and it was one of my best friends. His name was Bobby, and he literally died in my arms over a drug overdose. And at the time, I think I was maybe 14 or 15. So, I had a little bit of the EMT CPR training, so I performed CPR. And EMTs had arrived, but by that time it was too late. That's one of the memories that it never fades. Um, like holding him and then seeing him lifeless and gone. I believe at that point in my life that something had broke within me that has never fully healed. Even if it's uh, going to therapy, listening to music, all that. Uh, we used to play games for hours. We used to play Shogun Total War. That was probably one of our best games. Age of Empires, Crash Bandicoot, the old 007. These games weren't just games; they were our time for laughter and our escape. Um, so now every time I load up a strategy game, you know, um, I I enjoy it and I remember the good times. And I still to this day, I have visited his grave. I still, sometimes wonder why it's not me. Um, you know, uh, there are things that we both did that we probably shouldn't have done at that age, and he didn't make it out, and I did. I have a lot of trauma in my childhood, and um, I feel that gaming and TROA was created in the pain that I have dealt with, whether it be with Tactical Gaming, which is another organization that I ran for a long time, um, or it's TROA, which TROA is uh, a mental health organization now, and it's very very deep to me that anybody that we work with, anybody that we try to help, that we always advocate for those individuals and their mental health, the gaming culture, and the most important thing is the community growth or the organizational growth. We have partnerships currently, with the Americas for Suicide Prevention. currently working on finalizing with the VFW and kind of slash VA. And then there's also a whole bunch of different foundations, that we support as a group, whether it be, I got your six. There are multiple veteran based organizations that TROA also supports is in mission 22, which is the 22 a day. That's how many veterans commit suicide every day. There's the Wounded Warrior Project. There's the veteran the National Alliance on Health and Mental Illness. I'm sorry. And they are a huge advocate in a sense of helping individuals find those resources that they need. And my goal with TROA, and my goal in the whole reason that I did this, even though TROA was built with pain, um, it's to end the 22 a day, to end the stigma and to destroy the stigma surrounding mental health, and to ensure that no one, I mean, absolutely no one ever goes unheard, because all that you need to do is just listen to somebody, and that could be the life-saving moment for that individual.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't think that. They keep going, and they go about their lives and they ignore the individuals. Then the individuals are already too far in, and then it happens, and then it's a shock to everybody. But the shock needs to be a lot more sooner than later than a lot of people let on.
Yeah. You mentioned the pain led to creating TROA. So when did you create TROA officially?
Yeah, I started the idea in my head probably around 2014, 2015-ish. And I believe I was just getting done with tactical gaming. Tactical gaming was another gaming organization that I had started when I was like 10 or 11 or 12 or something. I can't remember. And it became one of the largest online gaming communities in the world. It's still one of the largest gaming communities in the world. I sold the rights and everything to an individual up in Canada. His name is Biggie, and he has taken tactical gaming and turned it into an actual competitive platform. And they do tactical warfare. They do all these different things. I believe that around the 2015 mark, after the attempted, suicide, having to go through all kinds of useless stuff because I didn't think that anybody cared. I feel that, starting TROA really helped me. It wasn't just about the gaming for me, it was to create a safe space for people like me who felt invisible, who felt like failures, who were barely holding on, and just somewhere where people needed to breathe. And I believe that is why and how TROA was born.
Was the goal when you originally had TROA in mind to eventually have mental health advocates in TROA, or is that something that progressively came into the idea involving getting mental health advocates?
I would probably say in about 2018, 2019 is when I really started to think about it, because I was going to therapy and I was learning a lot about myself as an individual. Around that time, it became more than just a passion, right? It became my heart, and it became my goal to create an organization from a gaming aspect and turn it into a honest, true mental health gaming culture advocacy, whatever you want to name it, right? I feel that, from that date forward, It's just been me advocating for those individuals with mental health, whether it be listening to an individual, whether it be giving the the counseling based information, the helping people try to find resources. I feel that that is the turning point in my life where my trauma was from everything that I had gone through, and I've only shared one of the worst ones, but there's plenty. I think in 2019 I really like started to pivot in the right direction. So from 2014 to 2019, I was still in that stage of, um, you know, always constantly being a failure, always, feeling like people, I didn't trust people, being smiling in public and, being broken on the inside. Right. So like it is a probably one of the lowest points in my life from the 2014 to 2019 range. And then once I got that help, it really helped rectify what I was truly doing, which was creating an organization that is going to help people and it's going to be bigger than me and is going to, in the long run, end the stigma on mental health, eliminate as much of the 22 a day by helping veterans, because it's always also been about helping. It doesn't matter who you are. I don't care if you're a civilian, if you're in the military, if you're a federal employee, if you're not a federal employee, you are welcome here. Nobody is not welcome, and um, that is a very apparent with what we have going here in TROA.
Yeah, and that's the thing that I think makes us here at TROA stand out is the fact that, we have people here that advocate for mental health and people here that if you are struggling, you can reach out and you always have someone here that is willing to listen and talk you through if you're going through a crisis. That not every gaming community or gaming organization has that, and TROA does, and that's something that I think makes us really stand out in that aspect.
Yeah. I mean, y'all, the two of you are the whole reason why I joined. And here we are now starting our first podcast.
Right. We've definitely grown. We're making big leaps. Well, moving into the gaming journey, do you remember what games you started playing? What was the first game you remember playing that really piqued your interest into the gaming culture?
Duck Hunt.
Duck Hunt. I remember Duck Hunt.
Oh my God, that is like the most rage inducing game ever.
I know. It's what got me into gaming, and then I went from Duck Hunt probably to Zelda on the Nintendo, and then from Zelda got into the Mario scene, and then as time progressed and as everything progressed, I started, having the Sega Genesis. I had the GameCube. I had a lot of the different consoles, the Atari, and then when the N64 came out and GoldenEye came out, and that game is what really got me hardcore into FPS games, like Battlefield. And then I think 13 or well, I don't remember. I just started this thing. I called it tactical gaming, and I was like, "Hey, come play. We got a server up for Battlefield 1942." It was hosted off of a frickin' Athlon 64 bit processor with, I think it was like maybe 128 mega RAM
Oh,
at the time.
wow.
So a server host, like we go all the way back to server hosting, right? And I remember back then we used to play until probably like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. And uh, it was insane. Battlefield 1942 was absolutely insane, and there were the escapes. There, was the being able to laugh and enjoy in the middle of the storm that you're dealing with, and just being able to uh, laugh and enjoy what you're doing. We used to take in Battlefield 1942. I believe we used the Desert Combat mod back then. We were able to take our carriers, and back then you could crash your carriers into one another, and we would just do that just to see what we could break. And we'd be doing that at like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. So you hear these laughs coming out, and my mom would always get pissed, but I didn't care. I was enjoying myself. Um, and then thinking back to um, the other games, because I played games with Bobby, and because I shared those sacred times, and his laughter would also echo in those games, so that also put a lot of peace in my mind. And just being able to play a game, and really enjoy yourself. And then I think also uh, I got into a game back in 2013 that I was playing for a little bit off and on. It was called Space Engineers, and then I've never stopped playing that game, even though it has probably the worst fucking bugs in the goddamn gaming industry. It is probably one of the most entertaining games that I've ever played, and that's why I still play it to date. Um, I also play a lot of, like, what I'm playing today is like Empyrean, Star Citizen, and Minecraft, and whatever else I feel like playing. Honestly, I don't have like a set game or a set genre, but I will tell you that Star Citizen pisses me the fuck off because you have to wait so long to do anything in it. Um, it's like one of those, hey guys, you guys ready? And then 3 hours later, you're like, what the fuck are we doing? We just did this. So there's a lot of frustration with that game, and um, I enjoy it, but I don't enjoy like the amount of fucking time that I have to waste in it.
Yeah, you're welcome
Um,
for that. Sorry.
and then you got
Thanks,
Minecraft.
Joker.
Yeah, and then you got Minecraft, where it's just like, what can I fuck up? What can I build? What can I do? And just like Space Engineers, Minecraft. People call Space Engineers Minecraft, but it's not, because you can actually make really cool shit. And in Space Engineers, we're creating a really nice station right now. So fuck all the non-believers on that. But Minecraft is limitless of what you can create. Um, and if you have it in your mind, you can create. I create the Empire State Building at one point, and that was fun. And then I got bored, and then I stopped playing it.
Right on. So, when you created Tactical Gaming, were you a part of any other gaming clan or gaming community before that, or did you just roll right into Tactical Gaming? Because before I met you over in TG, I had been a part of CTX, UB, DVD. Or did you have any part of that, or did you just create your server, go straight into founding
So,
DG?
so I was part of a group called GIBI, called Good Intentions, Bad Ideas. It's ran by my really good friend, who's actually Mad Dog. Um, and he's actually called the One Mad Dog now, but he's Canadian, really good friend. And I've known him for a very, very long time. And I was in GIBI, but I don't think I was like, it wasn't like a clan, or it wasn't like it was just like a group of people that played games. However, you know, we lost a friend. His name was Reality, and uh, he killed himself. And I believe that's one of the reasons that I also have disassociated myself a lot with that group. Um, it's just called the Doghouse now, I believe, the Dog Pound, or I can't remember what he calls it. I'm still in his Discord, but um, yeah, I don't think it was ever a me in a community, and then I was like, oh fuck this, I'm gonna go do my own. I think I've always wanted to do my own stuff because of the type of individual and leader that I am, my mindset. Um, I am uh, a servant leader. That is my leadership style, and I think it's always been something that has been ingrained into me from the youngest age.
Absolutely. What were some of the key aspects that you pulled from the tactical gaming community and brought over into TROA or folded over into TROA to make TROA what it is today?
I think one of the biggest things that I brought from tactical gaming was the mindset of, this is a safe place to game. People here, it doesn't matter what color, race, gender, nationality, everybody's welcome.
Right on, right on.
All right. So, last thing about gaming, though, as far as games in general, with your preference, what are some games you're looking forward to that either haven't released or are out, but you haven't quite gotten to them yet?
Well, if Flight Simulator and Microsoft ever got their shit together and they could fix the FS 2024, I think that would be a very good game because from SF 2021 or 2020, they took it from being this ridiculous fucking install that was like over 200 gig install, and it's on FS 2024. It's inside the cloud, so you actually stream your assets versus download everything. It works very well, but the co-pilot aspect of it sucks. Star Citizen, if they could get their shit together, I think that it's going to be a very, very good game. It's unlike any game that's out there. Then my other really favorite game, and we can go a little more into this because I think Gamble will, is Ready or Not. I think I've been ready. I'm actually in the game credits as a verified supporter of Ready or Not. And I have been supporting the game since it started to be created. And that is because it is based upon another game called SWAT. And tactical gaming, we played a lot of tactical based games. They were tactical based shooters, so that it was teamwork involved. That is another thing that I've kind of brought into TROA, is cooperative based games. In SWAT, you and the WAN servers, oh my god, it was so toxic, but it was so awesome. But like, you would host a tryout session, and then you would recruit for your clan or community. And during these tryout sessions, you'd be like doing like a Blackwater site. Like, you go to Blackwater and you do the freaking training there. Anybody that failed, you just kick and be like, sorry, you didn't make it. You have to try again. We had a whole application system. You had to. It it was pretty interesting. Let's feel that it was more RP based because of how it all happened. Because you had to be, use real tactics. You had to, be the EL, the R1, the R2, the B1, the B2. So you have your element lead, you have your red one, which is usually your entry, your red twos, your cover, your B1's your back cover, and then the B2 is covering from the rear as well. So I still have those actual guides that I created. I created a leadership book for TG, and I still have it to this day. And it has all of our tactics and everything, and how we did stuff back then, and it was pretty cool.
Nice.
Another thing that I did with tactical gaming that I forgot to mention was is I did do a little bit. We did do a little bit of competitive gaming. We were in competitive tournaments. We also did airsoft and we did paintball, which it was when we saw our biggest growth. But yeah,
Oh, okay. So paintball and airsoft. Yeah, those are some things that can make or break a team for sure, especially when you're going against each other. It's
oh,
like
absolutely.
it's like Tarkov. I mean, you Escape from Tarkov. You can make or break friends with that game.
Absolutely.
Moving on to the next question, still based around gaming, but in your mind, your opinion, what is it about gaming that potentially could help benefit mental health issues or the benefits itself to gaming? Because I know when we were growing up, we always got that gaming is sucking the minds out of our children, i.e., us.
Yeah,
And
it's bullshit.
because I know one personally, it's definitely helped with my hand eye coordination. And a lot of people are like, how are you that quick on the draw? It's like, gaming. But to you, what is what do you benefits do you see in gaming and the different types of gaming?
So I think that the question, um, because there's for many of us it's survival. Um, I believe that gaming gives me structure when the world that I live in is in chaos. I also believe it gives you control when everything that you have in your real life is not in control. I believe it gave me a victory than the ones that I've lost or have had to deal with. And I think most importantly, it gave people that actually cared about me in my life. Um, in Troa, I've seen strangers become friends and friends, save each other. I've heard cries, for help in game chats. I've seen lives shift just because someone logged on and heard, hey, glad you're here. Mental health doesn't just heal in office therapies, like we said before. It heals in the late night voice calls, during boss battles, or in the quiet moments, building a base together. I, I've I have literally been in space engineers building a base, and someone just starts coming over and telling me about their day, or they're saying they lost a friend, or or something has happened that has brought them for me to hear, and I listen. Um, Gaming isn't just about play; it's purpose, it's therapy, uh, and it's life saving. That is what I feel it is.
What is your plan for TROA in the future?
This is
What
only
we-
the beginning. We're currently in the process of launching our mental health support portal, which will be an anonymous and secure real help from real people. It'll be a place to talk when it feels like no one understands you. We've also added the suicide hotline. We've added the Veterans Crisis Hotline on our website, therealmsofasgard.com. In game, we're building the Nine Realms for our space engineers, which is a massive interconnected galaxy, and we're currently working on the main galactic trade station right now, where it'll allow for some lore, some factions, and role play and exploration. It's not a sanctuary or a sandbox. It's about being a part. For the long term, we're going national, and it just depends on when we have some of these amazing partnerships that we are already building. We are currently backed by the Americas for Suicide Prevention, and there are two big missions that the AFSP is currently doing. It's called the Be a Lifesaver movement, and the Be a Lifesaver movement is when if you wear the bracelet, you walk and talk and breathe of being a lifesaver. You are going to be there to listen to individuals. You're going to be there when there is a crisis, and you're going to make sure that those individuals are okay. That is the first step to avoiding a tragedy in someone's life, because suicide just doesn't affect one individual, it affects a cluster of individuals. And it is a paramount understanding that these different organizations that are out there right now that are trying to show mental health isn't just because someone is crazy, it is because someone is going through a traumatic experience, has gone through a traumatic experience, whether it be a vet, whether it be a civilian. What we do in TROA is we are the buffer, and the buffer is launching these programs and starting to get into the grant aspect of the being a 501c nonprofit. We're able to then capture and start to really ingrain ourselves into our communities, whether it be in Indiana, whether it be in Texas, whether it be in North Dakota, South Dakota, North Carolina, South Carolina, and whether it be anywhere in the United States, right? We are going to be able to do this ambassador program that I'm starting to build. I'm literally starting to build. I started building it like about a month ago, maybe 2 months ago, maybe three. I don't remember. But the ambassador program is going to be a program where there are going to be mental health meetups. There's going to be a veteran retreat. There's going to be game nights, with check-ins. I'm even wanting to get it to a point to where we set up pop-up shops for veterans, for civilians, for whoever it be, which is something that the VFW is currently doing. And if we when we do it, we would be in partnership with them doing it so that we can help them achieve their own missions as well. There's real world advocacy driven by the digital community that is happening right now. And the best thing of all this is I'm not doing this alone anymore. I have a fucking amazing team of individuals with amazing backgrounds, and these individuals are also, helping bring the honor, the integrity, the compassion, the courage, the purpose, the redemption, the unity that we need, which we live by from our Odin stones. Which is why when I'm hiring anybody for TROA, for the nonprofit side, I need to ensure that they meet those requirements. And we just launched our application system on our website. We got so much stuff going on. I can't even tell you. And these aren't just words; these are foundations that we have already started, and we will continue to drive these partnerships with the VFW, with the VA, with Mission 22, with the National Mental Health Association Alliance. I'm sorry, mental illness. Start to also work with Wounded Warrior Project, or work with Stop Soldier suicide movements, and then really start to cater to these areas that need lifelines. Because at the end of the day, you can only help someone if they want the help. We also will be able to give resources. Our staff that we currently have right now, three of us or four of us are currently trained in doing mental health advocacy and being able to help someone in a crisis, and being able to hopefully turn that individual around, give them the hope, give them the support, and give them that change. That is what TROA is about. And we're just starting. There's so much more stuff coming down the road. We're starting this podcast. I mean, there's just so much stuff going on, and I'm very excited about it. I'm very passionate about it, and I think that the individuals that we have on the team are very passionate and ready, and we're taking it and we're going.
That sounds absolutely awesome.
I'm going to go a little off our scripted questions because you started bringing up a lot of intricacies of TROA, the realms of Asgard. And of course, for those listening that have the pagan background of the Norse, it's very much themed in Norse mythology and belief system. So, what led you to go with that Norse theme and try to adhere to a Norse ecosystem when creating TROA?
I think it had to do with really the you're gonna laugh. It's all the Thor movies, right? So Thor is an outcast from his, his Asgard, right? And he has to build everything back up to take the throne from his brother in this sense, right? But I'm not taking the throne from anybody, but I believe that a lot of it had to do with me really liking the Odin, who Odin was, and Thor, and the basis of that.
Okay.
What is the Spartan IT group? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so the Spartan IT Group is my other not-for-profit LLC. We are a tech firm. We are not just about the code; we're about a mission over margin. We support churches, nonprofits, small and mom and pop shops. The goal is to, if they can't afford tech help, we still show up. We build websites, cloud solutions, secure infrastructures, apps, data systems, infrastructure systems. We handle the back end, um, and we are tech with heart, and that's what we do.
So, what are some notable groups that you have helped with that Spartan IT group?
Probably about 12 or 15 or 16. I don't remember how many churches, but here just in the Indianapolis area, we've helped a lot of card shops with their own like websites, and we've also done a lot of the company's been up for since 2016ish. So it's something that I do on the side. It's something that is another passion. But recently, there's been some issues that I'm working through with it. At this point in time, I'm focusing 100% on TROA, and may make a announcement soon about the Spartan IT Group's future.
It's definitely going to be a fantastic adventure moving forward. Everybody that is listening will definitely be hearing mine, Gamble's stories as well. Why we're here as well. Why the three of us, actually kind of decided with Gamble's main idea when he spit that out one random night. Hey, let's do this. And if you ever come around and hang out with us in Discord, you'll understand how random he can get with his ideas. But me and
Yeah.
Mark were absolutely on board with this.
So I'll have a closing, and this is a scripted closing that I have written down,
Okay.
because I believe it needs to be heard. Because who knows that this could be heard by 10, 100, 1,000, 1,000,000. We don't know how many people this podcast is going to be heard.
But
Um,
mainly the
you
thing
know
is if it helps one.
exactly. TROA, when it started, it was just a gaming community with everything that we've talked about. But now, and I think that Gamble and Joker can contest to this. We meet every Wednesday night at our leadership meetings, and I always say now, TROA is bigger than itself. It is bigger than one person. We're not just talking about mental health. We're trying to end the stigma on mental health. And I think a lot of people know what Mission 22 is 22 veterans a day take their own lives. That is a disgusting, does not need to keep happening. We need to end that. We need to either contact our congressman. We need to, as a people, speak up about this, and that you should never be normal. That no one is ever normal. It's okay to be abnormal. It's okay to be different. It's okay to be an individual that doesn't want to talk, doesn't want to do anything like that. You give us time in TROA, I guarantee you will open up to us, because that's the kind of people we are. And when you are in TROA, you always need to remember that you will always have a voice. You will always feel wanted. You will always feel a sense of camaraderie, whether it be people going and playing games, whether it be sitting and talking all night, whether we do that. We sit and talk all night sometimes. We talk about this everywhere, and we are here to help change, to shift that number, whether it be the veterans number, which is 22, whether it be the top leading cause of disease in America. We want to get that number to 0. And I say, we have your back. You're not alone. Your pain won't be ignored. And that's all I got.
Thank you, Mark, for those wonderful words. Gamble, anything you want to say at the conclusion of our first ever episode?
Yeah, well, thank you to Mark for saying that, and thank you for sharing your story to us. And thank you for creating TROA and giving everybody that safe space to be here and giving me a place here. And I just want to say to everyone and add into what Mark said, you do have a place here. You're not alone. There's a place here for everyone. We have your back. Come hang out. Give us a try. You have friends here. Not alone.
Beautiful. Thank you again to everybody who's listening. If you want to support us, we will hopefully here in the near future have all those. So stay tuned, pay attention to those. And in any of the descriptions, wherever you're listening to this podcast, we will have links to our Discord and the website, therealmsofasgard.com, and on Discord, TROA. But thank you again for everybody who has joined us for this journey, and we hope to hear from everybody very, very soon. Thank you for joining us.